on the mat, I turn on to my left hip. As I chop in my De La Riva hook, we're focusing on making the connection to the back of our knee to the outside of his knee. And as my leg chops in and my right hand stops him over rotating, and I get that bite, my leg is making like a U shape. And now I've got that strong De La Riva hook. So obviously when I come inside and I grab my hamstring, I'm controlling the outside space, but I'm slightly weaker on the inside space. So we know if Carl over rotates, that can give me the hook. I can pull him forwards and start to work things from that position. But I think as a control method, the underhook grip is king. So from our position, I have an upper body grip shield, I use my foot on the mat to move my hip. So you're on our side when we chop this in. Think about when we're drilling this to really focus on no space at the back of the knee. The more space there is, you've less connection, you've less control. So I put the hook in, but instead of coming around, I'm coming in between Char's foot and my hip. And then I grab my own shin. So this is the underhook De La Riva. Okay? So think about this. Okay? If I have just the De La Riva hook, I'm controlling the outside space. Okay? It's difficult for Char to rotate his knee outwards because of my hook. But then he can turn this way because I'm not controlling the inside space. If I have an underhook on Char's leg here, okay, if Char tries to turn his knee inwards, it's very difficult because of the underhook. Okay? But he can turn his knee outwards, if that makes sense. So if he has a De La Riva hook, think about, so we talked about what is the hook, what's it there for? So stop the rotation of the knee. Okay? So with the hook, it's difficult for me to turn my knee out, but I can easily turn my knee in. Char hasn't got the hook and has an underhook. Right. From here, it's very difficult. Just make the grip go. Yes. So when Char makes that underhook, he's connecting his elbow to his body. Alright, so when I start to try and turn my knee in, it's underhook stopping that, but there's nothing stopping my knee turning out. If that makes sense. But if we play underhook De La Riva, you're controlling outside space and inside space. So, from our position, same drill as before. Okay. Flat on my back, supine position. Use my foot on the mat again. This is just an unrealistic drill. I'm gonna move my hip, chop in the De La Riva hook, focusing on no space at the back of the knee and getting that strong hook. So I'm controlling outside space. Now I want to control the inside space. So my right hand comes in and I basically grab my own shin. Okay, so we end up in this position. Now obviously we're not going to hang out here, but I want you to focusing on just making that connection. Obviously from here I have a floating leg. I'll be making a hook, pulling Char towards me and maybe making a grip. And we'll be going into this and we'll be looking at something that's called the Jenga position, which is a transition between Jenga and X-guard. So I'll be pulling Char towards me and then pushing him away. So I've redirected him. My hook will come out. My foot goes on his hip, so I'm basically taking the weight off Char's right leg and my other foot comes in to make the Jenga hook. This is a very comfortable position for me. I'm having no pressure on me, whereas sometimes if I move into X-guard from here and Char's smashing me down, this is very uncomfortable for me. Stand up again. Because why? Why is it uncomfortable? Because he's got his weight on two legs, if that makes sense. It's not the end of the world, because from here we have options of bringing that leg over and attacking the back again. Okay, it's just options. But we want to be thinking about, remember when we were playing the Hicks and Gracie mesocycle? We want to be comfortable and making them uncomfortable. Don't worry too much about the off balance. We're going to be covering that at a later position. It's just kind of giving you a bit of an overview. So we're here, flat on my back, plant the foot, move the hip. That's a big detail. If car's leg straight, you're never going to get a De La Riva hook in. So I'm chopping this in, focusing on filling that space. And when I bring my leg in, I can see my big toe from this position. Instead of going to De La Riva guard, we're going to underhook De La Riva guard. We're controlling the outside space, now we want to control that inside space, and I grab my shin. Just like the same drill. Guard might try to over-rotate, difficult. If he tries to pull his leg out, I'm connected to him. And of course, again, he's exposing the back, if that makes sense. But the goal is, when we're here, we chop this in, and we get into our underhook De La Riva position, we want to be trying to make a hook with this leg. This leg's floating. And then I bring Car towards me. Sometimes he's posturing, so he might have to make a sleeve grip, but I could easily make him push to the back, which gives me the collar grip. Okay. So just play around with the off balance, make them put their hands on the mat, feel what the position feels like for you, and eventually, when we start attacking from here, I'll be moving into positions where I can make Car go on one side. See that I pull all the weight on one side of his body, like here. And this means when I transition to things like X guard, here, I'm already in a nice position where I can take him over, and I'm not using a lot of energy, or I'm not getting pushed, if that makes sense. So let's just play around.